What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass that bitch like Stockton. Just joshing. I'm spending this holiday locked in. My body got rid of them toxins. Sports in the top 10.
Callin' my bitch, tell her bring me that noggin. Brain real good, she a scholar. I like a thing with low mileage, good brain with no college. Call me the baby, no Tyler. I'm real creative and stylish. FN in my denim. I send that hit, make them spin 'em. And I just flew back from LA.
Welcome back to another segment of Dominant and Rough Sports Talk. For today's special guest, we have the 6'3", 275-pound center, actually the number one center in the whole state of Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Benjamin Roy Jr. Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to have. It's a pleasure to be here, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Definitely, man. So as you may know, we are in some trying times right now with the COVID virus. Can you tell us how the season is going thus far for you guys and what's different about it?
So us here in Nevada, what happened with us is we started up our workouts really heavily monitored. So we'd have no groups larger than 10, always wearing our masks, social distancing, cleaning up, all the stuff the CDC wants us to do. But the problem with us was the NIAA didn't give us a set guideline on what was going to happen. So at any point in time, they could have told us that, hey, the cases are up, season's canceled, done for, like within minutes. So what our coaching association did here in Nevada, specifically Southern Nevada, is they got together and we put it to a halt, and they said that, we'll try again in the spring. So as of now, we just have little workouts here and there for 7-on-7. And we get the bigs together and we do our individuals and some one-on-one work. But other than that, we're waiting until mid-March to begin our season. Yeah, that's when the NIAA has us starting up.
Definitely, man. It's unfortunate, that you guys have to wait until mid-March, but at least you guys still do have a season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a light at the end of the tunnel for sure.
Definitely. Now, you are going to UCLA, a very prestigious school. Just tell us what factors played a key into your decision to go to attend UCLA.
So number one for me growing up was always been education, right? UCLA is the number one public institute in the country, according to Forbes. And then on top of that, Power 5 football in the Pac-12. I grew up, my dad is an ASU alum. He got his bachelor's there. So I've always grown up watching Pac-12 football, loving Saturday mornings always. And so it gives me education, number one education in the country. Pac-12 football, you get to play on Saturdays under the lights. And then what put the cherry on the smoothie was Coach Fry, our O-line coach. I love Coach Fry. We have a great relationship. He recruited me hard ever since February. And then when he pulled the trigger, it was honestly a ticking clock, man. I wanted to be a Bruin. So that's what's
definitely. And that's a blessing, man. And it's great that you mentioned education. That's so important. The word student comes before athlete. Mm-hmm. And a lot of kids get that mixed up. They may go to college and they don't do as well as their grades. Without your grades, you can't play the game of football that we all love. Right. So that's great that you have your head on straight with the academics.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I mentioned earlier in the introduction, you are a center. Can you just take us through the mind of a center pre-snap and just some of the things that you may have to evaluate when you come up to the line of scrimmage?
So for me, my process is obviously we get to play. And so number one, I got to understand where the play is going to hit. And so once I understand where the play is going to hit, and I start looking at the front, where the backers are lined up, see if a safety's cheating down, see if where the backers are going to roll to, if they're going to send some type of blitz. And then once I got all the identifications figured out is when I start calling out my combos, identifying backers, which backers we want to block, which ones the quarterback's responsible for. So it starts with understanding where the play is going to hit. And then once you understand that, it's all about IDing the front and the backers and then the combos from there to help out my other guys around me.
Definitely. And that's one of the things I appreciate about your game, is your ability to just get to the next level. That's so important, especially, with you being in college. a lot of guys, the good ones can just rock the front line. The great ones can get to the second line. So can you just tell us some of the skills that are essential in order to being able to be successful at getting to that second? First of all, securing that first level, then being able to get to the second level, and which in turn can spring you running back free. Can you just tell us some of the skills that are essential to be able to do that?
So what I do is I always got to anticipate where the linebacker is going to be, kind of meet him to where he wants to go. Again, understanding where the play is going to hit, where my back is going to go. And then obviously, I'm 275, 280-ish. Those backers are 210, 220. So they're going to move a lot faster and more efficiently than me. So it's all about anticipating where he's going to be. And then once I meet him there, I lay the wood. And once I lay the wood, I run my feet through it and accelerate. And that's how I finish my blocks.
Definitely. Man, Mr. Pancake, I look through the highlight film. That's all I'm seeing, man. The physicality that's so important. That's God, man, I can't stress how important it solves a lot of problems.
Yeah.
It solves a lot of problems. You may be in the wrong spot, but guess what? If you're physical and you're going full speed, like I said, it can solve a lot of problems. Now, what part of your skill set do you feel will make an immediate impact at the next level?
Number one, aside from the game, is just my intensity, my energy. I'm a high intensity, always yelling, always saying something. I'm a leader. I like to pick my guys up when they're doing well. I like to pick them up when they're down. So I feel like intensity. When it comes to yelling and getting in people's faces and playing the game how it's supposed to be played, playing nasty and physical. That's one thing that I feel like is going to take over and that I want to carry over. And then just my IQ, understanding, knowing what the defense is going to do before they even do it. That's what I pride myself on.
Definitely. So speaking of IQ, a lot of times we may see, especially at the next level, you're going to see a lot of simulated blitzing. Guys may fake like they're going to blitz and they drop back in coverage. Or you may see some, they may creep up at the last minute at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the LSU game, but Texas A&M did that very well. They disguised the blitzes so well that guys are coming from all over, and it just led to free linebackers and free safeties and coming and affecting the quarterback, hitting the quarterback. So could you just tell us some of the key things that you may look for to determine whether a linebacker may be blitzing or not?
So a lot of it is film preparation. We get a lot of film, and we study film intensively to make sure that we know what guys have what tendencies to blitz. At this level at high school so far, they make it really obvious who's the blitz guy, who's the cover guy. Your thicker guy is going to play more towards the ball. Your smaller guy is going to play in coverage. But a lot of it just comes down to film and knowing what they're going to do, and then their body language. Defenders will show what they're going to do before they even do it. If I can look a person, I'll be pre-snap, and I can look at a person, and I can look him in his eyes, and I can look where he's looking. Because if he's out there eyeing receivers or like eyeing somebody else, then all right, he's going to cover, right? If he's got his eyes on the running back, I know he might be matched up man to man with the running back. Whereas if he's looking at me, he's looking at my guards, he's looking at the quarterback, like he's starting to look at the ball, like I know he's coming, so I know I got to get him.
Definitely. It's just funny that you bring up, the film study, because I used to play offensive line. I was mostly a defensive guy, but I did play O-line a little bit, kind of in my earlier years of high school. And there was a guy, we were playing a team, and there was a guy when he would do a lot of simulating blitzing. So when he would walk up to the line of scrimmage, he would kind of rattle his fingers like this, moving his fingers. And that was an indicator that he was going to blitz. Whereas when he was faking a blitz, he would walk up and just be calm, and drop back. And it's those little small, minute details that can give you an advantage.
Yeah, all body language. That's one dead giveaway, body language.
Now, we all have a football player who we looked up to and who we grew up watching. My personal was Charles Grant and Will Smith, the two defensive ends from the Saints. Could you tell us, is there a football player who you looked up to and that you admired their game and which you tried to incorporate it into your game?
So mine usually rotates. The game changes, so that's what I try to adapt to it. Early on, I played tackle early in my career, so it was always Joe Thomas. That man is the cream of the crop, elite. Like played on arguably one of the worst organizations, but never missed a snap. Blocked for whatever quarterback they wanted to bring in. The most technically sound guy out there. So it was always Joe Thomas. But now that I moved into the center position, I watch two guys, Rodney Hudson, because he's my size, a big pass pro guy. You know, he's a big anchor of that Raiders O-line for Josh Jacobs. And then more recently, man, I fell in love with Ryan Jensen's game. I love his nastiness. I love his intensity. I love how he gets in people's faces, knocks them out, and then like gets them to create 15-yard penalty opportunities for them. Because once you're in a guy's head, you own him. So that's one thing I really admire about Ryan Jensen is his physicality, his intensity, and his mental game. He dominates people physically and mentally. And when you're doing that, you're cream of the crop. You're elite.
Definitely. Now, as you mentioned earlier, you know, you're a very intense guy. You know, you play at a high level. You're mean. You're nasty. You just tell us some of the music artists that you listened to before the game that just put you in such a mean physical mindset.
So I'm a Californian. I love California music. So my usually go-to is always Shoreline Mafia, Mike Sherm, some Lil Baby because he's been the top right now. A lot of YG, man. I love him. So,
okay, well, local.
And then the only exception I make out of that what's called is Pop Smoke, man. He gets me going.
A legend, man. Rest in peace, bro. Definitely. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Never feel the floor is not yours.
What's up, Chief? How you doing?
What's up, boss? How are you?
I'm chilling, Ben. So, for my first question is, so from watching your film, you have the ability to block several key players. You block the man in front of you, and you also, once you drive him to the ground, you also turn over to your right or to your left and block them as well, and the gap be wide open. What type of skill set do you need to be able to do that over and over and over and over again?
So honestly, aside from skill set, which I'll get into, is just a mindset, just not being satisfied with blocking one guy. Growing up, I always played O-line, right? So I was always one of the bigger kids. So I'd pancake the first guy, right? And then I just get up, kind of, watch the play, this, and that. So my dad got on me and he was like, go block another. Like, one pancake isn't good enough. Go get another one. Like, and if you knock him to the ground, go get another one. Like, just the mindset of not being satisfied and trying to create as many running lanes and try to put as many people in the ground as possible. But aside from the mentality, I feel like it's just, you just keep your feet running, keep a wide base, and really accelerate through contact. Because once you get that first guy off the ball and put him down, you get to the backer and they're a lot lighter. So it's once you translate power from your legs to your arms and explode through, run your feet, then guys start hitting the floor. And then once you get him, you eyes up, carry on, get another guy, right? And it's just a mindset.
How much time do you spend working on snapping the ball, getting your hands up, and to keep your legs chopping to become much more polished player?
So I got moved to center middle of the season. I originally played left tackle, but so when I got moved to center, they moved me to center after film on Saturday. So I got that whole Sunday and part of Monday to just work. So I got probably over 50 snaps in a day where I just be snap, step, boom, right? Snap, left, right, pass pro, stretch plays, dive plays, zone plays, anything like that. Anything that could work. Usually I try and get 10 of each or 20 of each. So it's just muscle memory and repetition, right? You snap that hand, as soon as the ball gets back there, you fire it back up and put it in somebody's chest. So it was just probably about 50 times a day. I did it to try, and I had to master it. I had to get it down because the play doesn't start without it. So
what would be your academic major at the University of UCLA? And what is it about that major that made you want to choose that field?
So if the league doesn't work out for me, I want to be a lawyer. I want to get into law school. So I'm still deciding right now whether I want to go with the sociology or pre-law. So, and what made UCLA special that is UCLA actually has a law right nearby campus. So not only can I go and ball out at UCLA and make a name for myself, build my brand, I can go ahead and get into law school be very local and be right then and there. So that was another big piece of UCLA, and just circles back to education, man. They're great.
Can you please explain to the world the mindset that a center needs going into each game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter? And also, what do you tell yourself when you feel your body becoming a little fatigued, during the third or fourth quarter, and to keep pushing yourself to complete the game?
So for me, it's just when times get tough, the tough get going. So when it starts to hurt is when the real fun begins, and when the real dog in you comes out. So when I start getting tired, those long drives, 10 plays, hurry up offense, I just tell yourself, like, you're the leader of this team, you're the leader of this unit. Like, all these guys feed off of you, man. Like, you miss this block, or you don't bury this kid, other guys are gonna think it's okay to slack off. So me being the leader, as a center should be, man. The center is the real brain of the offense, in my opinion.
Right. Dog mentality. I like that. Can you please explain to the world what kind of, and I quote this, what kind of player / person that the University of UCLA is getting?
An intense leader on the field and a fun guy off the field, man. When it comes to everything that's not football, I like to joke around. I like to play a lot of games. I'm a funny guy. I like to have fun, make people laugh. So, excuse me. But other than being an intense leader, I'm intense in the weight room. I'm intense at practice. I'm always competing, and I'm a competitor. I compete at the littlest things. Like, it'll be my boy will hit a rep and he'll hit it a little bit cleaner than I did, so I got to go and get it right back. Like, I'm just a competitor. Like, that's one thing they're gonna get me. They're gonna get a competitor, but a fun guy. Like, I like to separate business from fun, so I'm a fun guy, but also an intense guy on the field.
I like that. What are some of your hobbies outside of football?
I mean, does weightlifting is weightlifting a hobby? Because I do that. I do that a lot.
Hey, man, that's one of my hobbies too, dog. That's one of my hobbies too.
I love lifting. I mean, it takes me all the way back to when my dad first started having me lift, man. And I went from having, a little boy body to, a pubescent body to, I finally got a cut on my arm, like, got some definition in my chest. And once I got that, man, that took off. I was like, man, I got to be big. So weightlifting is one of them. If it's not that, then it's, I play video games, a lot of Madden. I love ball. So play a lot of Madden with my brothers. My little brother's a baseball player, so we play some MLB The Show. I try to get into Call of Duty games. It's just too many guys that have been doing that all day, all night. It gets a little much for me. But yeah, straight just hanging out with my family, lifting weights, and then playing video games.
Can you name a time that you were faced with adversity, and how did you overcome
it? The most notable one was, we started the season 0-5. So we started our season. We lost to 5 great teams. Started our out of state national schedule 0-5, and then bounced back and won state. So that's probably the best one. Is we were the laughing stock of the state, laughing stock of the country, and laughing stock of our school. Like, even the teachers and everyone was just looking down on us, like, wow, our team sucks. But so we had to get it right back, and came back and shocked the world, won state. So that's probably my best adversity story.
Booyah! So my next question: what age you started playing football?
So I started playing at 7.
Who introduced you to the sport?
Oh, my dad, for sure. I remember growing up. So we're Bears fans, right? I don't want to hear nothing about that. We're doing pretty bad. We're down pretty bad, but we're Bears fans, right? My dad grew up, the tough, hard-nosed defense. I grew up watching Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Peanut Tillman, everyone like that. So my dad introduced it to me, man. We'd spend Sundays together, just sitting down, snacking, even from 3 to even now. We just Sundays sit together, get some snacks, and watch football. So it was definitely my dad.
What age did you start serious? Man, football is major in my life. It's for real. It's for real, for real. Do you remember what age you started to take it serious?
It was around like 12, around that time. Because before I kind of gotten a little burnt out, I was playing year round. So I would play spring season, summer tournament, and then I would play fall season, winter tournament. So it would just be a year round constant thing of just playing ball. And so I kind of got burnt out of it as a kid. I wanted to I tried some other sports. I tried basketball. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't football. It wasn't ball. So came back to it. And at around 12, my dad was like, look, if you're going to, like, is this what you want to do? Like, is this what you want to do? And I was like, yes, like, no doubt in my mind. So he was like, all right, well, it's go time. Let's go. So then, kicked it in, and everything right there was just to prepare to get to the next level. So that next level for me at that point in time was high school. So, I had to get ready. I found my niche at left tackle, and, it's all about preparing for the next level. So that's what I did, and then got to high school, and ever since then, I fell in love.
So earlier in the beginning of the interview, when Kel had asked you a question, you said the season began in March, right?
Yeah.
So what goals do you and your team have set for yourself to achieve this season?
What we want to do, we'll probably have a moderated schedule. So what we will just want to do is win out and continue to establish ourselves as the top program in the country. Liberty, before I got here, was always a far second behind Bishop Gorman. But this year, last year, the previous year, we were able to finally knock them off. And that's what led our road to state. So the goal of this upcoming season is to beat Gorman again and solidify us as the number one school in the state of Nevada.
Right. Straight up. How do y'all coach instill confidence in you all?
Our coach is another intense, loud guy, man. It's always funny to tell the story. He's a morning person as well. So when we had 5 a.m. practices, man, he'd be up at 3. He'd be up at 3 drinking coffee, ready to go. So he's a big intensity guy. He loves the nasty, gritty, punch you in the mouth style football. So he's a big motivator as well. He is a big critic. So what he did for us intensity wise, he'd be screaming at us. We still got bags under our eyes, man. He's yelling at us. He's getting in our butt, trying to get us to go and take our game to the next level. So I love Coach Baker. That's my favorite coach. That's my guy. I love that man to death. And I'm so thankful for all that he's done for me, man, because he's a great coach, top in the state for sure.
Right. Salute. For my last question, what is your burning desire?
My burning desire is to be the best. I know it's corny. Probably a lot of athletes say that, but I take it to a different level. Like, for example, we got this baseball board game at my house that I play with my brothers. It's full count baseball. It's just like a card game. Pitcher plays their pitch, batter plays their hitter. And so I lost to my brother twice in a row. And I wouldn't let it go. Like, I was like, we got to run it back. Like, we got to go. Like, I kept getting in his head, like little, like talking smack to him, getting in his head, like, it was a fluke, bro. Like, come on, you gonna go out like that? Like, you can't beat me. And so just yesterday, I got him back. I beat him by like 15. I blew him out the water. So I want to be the best at everything. It gets the best of me sometimes, but like, no matter what it is, I'm trying to win. I want to win. I want to be number one, and I don't settle for anything less.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. It's the whole world. You hard, bro. There's not too many people that can stand in front of you because film don't lie. It's just as
Definitely, man. So can you let us know your social media platform so everyone who sees this interview can follow you?
So on Twitter, you can follow me at KingBand54, and then my Instagram is _KingBand55. I don't remember my TikTok username. I don't use that much, but I think it's the same thing, _KingBand55. I try to keep it similar and simple. But yeah, go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I followed you right back.
Definitely. Yes, sir. Well, Ben, man, it's been a pleasure, man. We thank you for taking time out of your day and coming to spend it with Diamond and the Russ Sports Talk, man. It was a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm so glad you guys had me. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And good luck on the rest of your career. We're gonna stay in contact with you. know, with us, it's more than about the interview. The guys that we interview, we consider them part of our family.
Thank you, my brothers. You guys are part of the fam too.
Yes, sir. Take it easy, man. And with that being said, this will conclude this episode of Diamond in the Rough Sports Talk. Thank you.
Thank you.